I never thought I'd call the police on my own brother. But after what he did 3 days after our grandpa's funeral, I realized he never saw me as family. When I was 15, my parents divorced. My mom moved across the country, and my dad started a new family almost immediately. I wasn't abused, but I always felt like I was in the way. The only person who made me feel like I belonged was my grandpa. Every Friday after school, he'd pick me up in his old Ford truck. We'd stop at the same diner for burgers, then head back to his little house. He taught me how to change a tire, fix a leaking sink, and, more importantly, how to keep my word. He always told me, people remember how you treat them when you don't need anything from them. When I turned 18, I moved into my own apartment, but I still visited him every weekend. As he got older, I started helping him with groceries, doctor appointments, and mowing the lawn. I never expected anything in return. I just loved spending time with him. My older brother barely visited. Sometimes 6 or 7 months would go by without a single phone call. But every Thanksgiving, he'd suddenly show up asking Grandpa for money. Grandpa never complained. He'd just smile and say, he's still my grandson. Last winter, Grandpa passed away peacefully in his sleep. Losing him felt like losing the only real parent I'd ever had. A few days later, our family gathered at the lawyer's office to hear the will. Grandpa had left me his house. It wasn't a huge house. It was old, needed repairs, and wasn't worth a fortune. But it was filled with memories. The moment the lawyer finished reading, my brother slammed his hand on the table. This has to be a joke, he said. I have a wife and 2 kids. He should have left it to me. The lawyer calmly explained that Grandpa had updated his will 2 years earlier. My brother stormed out. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. 3 days later, I drove to Grandpa's house to start cleaning it out. When I pulled into the driveway, my brother's truck was parked outside. I walked to the front door and realized my key didn't work. He had changed the locks. I knocked. He opened the door and said, I'm living here now. It's better for my family. I honestly couldn't believe what I was hearing. I reminded him the house legally belonged to me. He laughed. You're not really going to kick your own family out, are you? Then his wife came over and started moving furniture into the living room like they already owned the place. I gave them one last chance to leave. They refused. So I stepped outside and called the police. About 20 minutes later, officers arrived. After checking the paperwork, they told my brother he had to leave immediately. He looked at me with pure anger and said, I hope this house is worth losing your family. Since that day, my phone hasn't stopped ringing. My mom says I should have shared. My aunt says Grandpa would have wanted peace. But here's the thing. Grandpa had years to change his will. He never did. He made his choice. I didn't steal anything. I simply protected the one thing the only person who truly loved me wanted me to have. So, Aita for calling the police on my own brother?